Hey guys, I got a question for you today. Who comes up with these things? Who, in their right mind, makes the sippies? Who designs them? And really, do we need a million sippy cups? Let's find out. Okay guys, so at this point, my little girl is she's 15 months now, and everybody always seems to push, get her off the bottle, let's get off the bottle, and blah, blah, blah. Okay, I get that. Around a year typically is when we start with sippy cups. But the transition to a sippy is not always that easy. And to be honest, we introduced it around a year to my daughter, and it took her a couple months to get used to these things. So, I don't know. Give me your guys' thoughts. Send me a little message, comment, and let me know what you guys think too. But I'm going to go over today kind of what we've been through with sippy cups and see if maybe it can give you some insight and maybe some clarity after I get through all this. So first off, we started introducing my daughter. We introduced her and I gave her the sippy cup, and of course, what's the first thing they do? They tip it over and pour me out, just like a little teapot. But so she kind of threw the sippy about and different things like that. And she wasn't a real big fan of the, I guess you'd call it the nipple or the top part of the sippy because it differs from a bottle. So I went and I got her a training sippy. And let me tell you guys, when you go out to buy sippy cups for the first time, and if it's your first child like mine, it's like this huge wall of a sippies. And you're like, what on earth do I buy? There are a zillion different kinds of cups. There are character cups. There are cups that just literally have a bottle lid on top of them and just don't look like a bottle at the base. There are so many different kinds. So the first one here, this is a Munchkin Trainer Cup that we got. This was like initially the first one I got, and I tried it with her because it had a little softer tip. Who came up with this? Because I don't know about you guys, but I tried drinking out of this. My husband tried drinking out of this, and neither one of us could even get any fluids into our mouth. So how did we expect my daughter on her own to get fluid out of it? So we kind of just tossed this around a little bit, and we still gave it to her to let her kind of get used to the idea. It's there, but the training cup, really? Not worth it. But so I kind of backed off after sippies for a little bit and kind of slowed down, and we kept with our bottles and everything like normal. And the next one we went to was a different kind of sippy, and this was a harder plastic tip. Now this one, I don't quite remember what brand it is, but it just has a hard top on it. And it wasn't too bad. The only issue with this one was the stopper. She wasn't quite strong enough to suck out the fluids with it in. So if I took the stopper out, which is not the easiest to get out of there, she could get fluid out. But then she got too much juice or water, whatever you put in your sippy cup. And then one thing I have a hard time with is these little stoppers here. A lot of people forget that these are in the cups when they go to wash them. Or, we had a little incident where our sippy cup got tossed and it went missing for a few days because it rolled underneath a shelf in our kitchen. And so sometimes these things can get more bacteria in them. They can get mold in them. So if you have one of these with the stoppers in them, guys, make sure, get one of the bottle brushes, get something and scrub these things out, because I will tell you they can get nasty and it's not good for the baby. It's not good for anybody, and it's gross. So these one, is kind of 50-50. It's not too bad. She liked this one a little bit better, but it wasn't the greatest. So, And I know sippy cups kind of seem a little silly to be talking about, but to be honest, you're talking about switching a child off of a bottle or nursing, if you nursed all that time. You're talking about switching how their main food source came through. Not only are they switching to solid foods at that time, and you're also transitioning off of formula. That's a lot of changes to go through for a 1-year-old. I mean, really, if you think about it, a 1-year-old has really not been around that long. And they get big so quick. But sippies, and when you're a first-time mom, you really don't know what to buy. And you see people with all these different cups and sippies, and especially older toddlers, you see them carrying their sippies around. And it's so important to keep fluids and keep your baby hydrated. So I chose this topic to kind of present to you guys this week. And hopefully it'll help you guys out, like I said earlier, in maybe the walls of sippy cups that the stores put up won't be so frightening when you look at them anymore. But then I found another sippy cup. Let me grab that one for you. This one actually was, for the most part, this one, I'd say I'd give it like a C+. It wasn't too bad. It's a harder plastic. And the top here, it doesn't have the suction in the middle, but it just has a rubber tip. And it's a little hard to see there, but it's got a rubber tip. And she was able to suck out of this perfectly fine. And this actually was the one that we used for quite a while. We used this for about a month or so. I had 2 of these, which is not bad with these. They're fairly nice. They don't really spill unless you're like really trying to tip them upside down. And they're nice if you're like out and about somewhere. They're a little bit heavier duty, a little sturdier at the base. But this one we used about a month or so. And then sippy cups kind of became playtime. And then it kind of became to have a little bit of fun to just throw it. Oops, there it goes. Well, if you have a hardwood floor like we do, and that's full of liquid, it's going to make a mess on your floor, or it's going to damage your floor. So I actually looked into some sippy cups that my daughter uses at school, and these are really basic ones, and I would give these an A+. These are your basic TakeAlong ones. You guys can get these anywhere. Kroger, Walmart, Meijer, they all carry them. They come in a pack, about 5 or 6 of them. And their lids, they all pop off. It's plastic, BPA free for anybody that wants to know. But these have been so far the best thing for her. She has been able to pick these up, drink out of them, no problem. And on top of that, if she ends up throwing this thing away or throwing it somewhere, it's not that big of a deal. It's a lighter plastic. It's still durable, but it's light enough to where it's not going to go crashing down on your floor and you're not like, whoa, what happened? These are so much easier to use. And they're a lot lighter too. And one thing is really nice, they're easy to clean. You just have the tip here, and if you still have your bottle brush from your bottles, you just use the bottle brush on the tip. Make sure you just get around it really good. But they're easy to clean. On top of that, it's not much money to purchase these. I think I paid maybe between like $5 with these, so maybe about $1 each, but they're reusable, washable. It's not a bad price. And they also came with a little plastic tip that covers these, so you could actually take it with you in your diaper bag or in the car or wherever you want to take these. So this, for us, these little take-along sippy cups, definitely a winner. And these have been a lot of fun. And I think really the only downfall is every now and then just check the lid, because sometimes it will pop up a little bit if they throw it really hard. But this one's been really great for us. You know, it's really funny, especially with sippies. Let me put this one down. You think, and you have it in your mind, that you need a whole wall of sippy cups and that you need 5 bazillion cups and different things for the baby to carry around. In essence, you really only need just a few. If you think about it, if you only have a few, you're forced to actually wash them more often so they can be reused. And then on top of that, your whole cupboard is not covered with sippy cups. So this has worked the best, and my daughter uses this, and right now she is kind of 50-50. She's 15 months, and she uses the sippy cup perfectly fine. She's fully capable of doing this. And then she also still takes a bottle. She likes her bottles. I am not one to push her to come off the bottle. When you make that decision as a parent, it is a joint decision. You have to be ready. Your husband has to be ready. You guys have to be ready to put away the bottles. So it's a joint decision. And right now, she can drink out of this, no problem. And she takes a bottle in the morning or at night sometimes with her milk. And that's not an issue for us. And really, her comfort and taking her lead in this has really, I think, has helped her been given more security, just as she's been transitioning, trying new foods, trying new things. And you're not just floating around with all these different cups or forcing them to cut what they know as their food source. So for sippy cups, this is our winner here. Let's take a long cup. I know it kind of seems silly, like I said earlier, but these are things and these are necessities that a child needs, a growing toddler needs. A toddler needs to be having their milk and their calcium and their intakes and their fluids and everything like that. So how they get how the fluids are delivered is important. And as the baby gets bigger and starts transitioning, which is another thing I like about these cups, is actually when they start transitioning, they're used to holding these. You could actually use this little cup when they start transitioning to regular cups and just fill it with a small amount of liquid at a time. That way they're used to holding this and it's an easy transition that way. And I know it's funny because it's only for such a short time, but there's like no information out there. You could go and Google this and maybe find a zillion different things, but everyone's got their own opinion. And then you've got these doctors and specialists, which are great, and I applaud them for what they do, but sometimes there is real life and things that matter. And no, I don't want to go spend $20 on one sippy cup for my child. I don't know about you guys, but I'm not spending $20 on a cup. Not happening. So these cups were a great choice for us and everything else. And as for transitioning off of bottles and things like that, take your time. Listen to your child. It is okay that you still give your child a bottle. Now, you don't want your child, I don't want to take this the wrong way. Don't take your child. You don't want them having a bottle at 2 and 3 years old. But if they still need it going into their first year and continuing on a little bit, it's okay. Make it a slow progression. Cut back the bottles slowly. Go from, maybe having just like what we're doing, 50-50 split, and maybe just do a bottle in the morning or at night, and then slowly cut out the morning bottle, but still give the fluids through a sippy cup. As you slowly back away and the child gets used to the sippy, they're going to make that transition. They're going to make that transition on their own, and it's going to be easier for you guys. And I know some of you guys out there are like, oh, hallelujah, I can't wait till we get rid of the bottles. No more bottles to clean. It is easier, but making that transition comfortable for them is huge, especially at this age. There's so many things going on. You have development, you have walking skills, large motor skills. And on top of that, you're also not only working their hand and eye coordination with picking this up, but you're also working their fine motor skills and being able to pick this up and bring it to their mouth. So it's a lot of changes and a lot for a little baby to go on. And which leads me to my major question. Who designs these things? Because I don't know about you guys, but simple, the better. And whoever comes up with all the sippy displays at the store, it's not necessary. You only need a couple cups to get you through. So guys, I hope this helped you out. It helped me out a little bit as we kind of trialed and errored with this. Sippy cups this week. We're going to be talking a little bit next week, I think, about transitions. We're going to talk about transitioning from crib to toddler beds, which actually was a discussion that I just had with my husband here not too long ago, actually, just a little bit ago in the living room before we recorded. So we're going to be talking about those things. Transitions are huge, huge, huge in the first year of life. So we're going to be kind of doing a series on transitions with young children, and hopefully I'll help you guys out. And I got more coming at you. Don't forget, guys, like me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Check it out. Give me some love, a like, a share. And guys, I will see you all next week. I'm going to go enjoy my sippy.